Hello. Hi, guys. I'm Jacqui Duran, Scentsy consultant, and it is time for my weekly Google Hangout chat. And we're chatting, of course, about my favorite thing, Scentsy. I'll start off with some quick housekeeping, and that is to say that I'm an independent Scentsy consultant. I love to network and meet other consultants, and I like sharing ideas. I like gathering ideas and making them my own, and getting very creative in my Scentsy business. So this is the main reason that I do these videos, is to share what I'm doing with you guys, grab ideas from you, we can network together, and also along the way, hopefully, if you're not a consultant out there, you're getting literally a peek behind the curtain of what it's like to be a Scentsy consultant. I personally enjoy the crap out of my Scentsy business. I really, really do. I have a full-time day job. I have 3 children. I've got a husband, household to run. We've got errands. We've got, everything going on. But Scentsy really, some people might look at it and go, oh my gosh, how do you do all that and still have time for Scentsy? And I simply say, because Scentsy is my fun job, and that's the job that I really look forward to, and it brings balance to the chaos of every day. So that's a really bright point for me as my Scentsy. So, of course, these are not official trainings by any means. It's a source for sharing information and sharing along the way. I do these live every week, every Tuesday from 9:15. I usually, I really do try and stick to a 30-minute time frame, because I'm trying to be respectful of your time and my own. I like to relax too, and the little one's in bed, and so things are kind of calmed down this time of night. This is like the perfect time of night for me. So it's when I'm able to get any miscellaneous stuff done. If I have anything business-wise that I need to do, I will try and fit that in. And then, of course, like I said, have that relaxation and moment of the day before I go to bed and start all over again tomorrow. The joys of being an adult, right? If only we could stay in our fort and color in our coloring books all day long, life would be glorious and grand. But it's not. So, because it's not, we have Scentsy, and Scentsy's like a big giant coloring book to me, where the crowns smell so pretty and nice. Ha ha ha. Anyway, so I come to you weekly, same time, same place, same bat channel every week. So this way you guys are able to, like I said, hopefully if you're joining live, you can see the Q&A screen over here, or at least it looks like it's over here on my screen. So feel free, if you have a question, if you need me to repeat anything, if you can't hear me, anything at all like that, don't hesitate to shout it out. I'll be more than happy to answer your questions live. And if you're watching via playback, because this will be available playback on my YouTube channel, you can always leave comments, and I do check those and get back with you as well. So just little quick, easy ways. This week, we are going to discuss relaunching your Scentsy business. Now, I have been a consultant for 3 years, so if you guys follow me, you know that, and you've probably heard my story by now. But I think that it is very important. How do I want to phrase this? This is how I put it in the class that I'm putting together. we do updates on our computers, on our phones, on the apps on our phones. Um, Maybe we trade in our car for a newer model. You know, we do all these updates throughout our life to keep ourselves current and up to date and on the hottest trend and the hottest new app and the greatest new game you can play on your phone, things like that. We're always looking for new and improved ways for the things in our life. So why don't we apply that towards us? Um, I think that I do things pretty well. I'm a genius. I do it all. No, I don't do it all. I can't. No one can do it all. And no one can do everything perfectly all the time. But I think that's why that you need to stop and you have to reevaluate things and think about what's working, what's not working. And you have to have that give and take throughout your life to have that balance. So as we're updating everything else, take a look at ourselves. How can we update us? So when we talk about that, of course, we can look at it a couple of different ways. We can look at that as a personal aspect. How can I update me? Maybe I can try and be more positive, or maybe I can try and make sure that I recognize people for the things that they do more, little things like that I can improve on myself. When we look at ourselves professionally, and specifically as we're talking about Scentsy tonight, is how can I better work my business? One of those ways that I've kind of looked towards relaunching and updating myself and my business is, as we talked on week 1, when we talked about organizing. So every day of the week, I am working my business in one shape or form or another. So it used to be very chaotic. I used to, hurriedly try and squeeze things in. I would leave myself, voice memos on my phone. Hey, don't forget to stop by the post office and mail this out. And don't forget to email so-and-so, or whatever it happened to be. I was always doing that. And I was not taking good time management for me and myself and my business. So by reevaluating things and looking at things differently, thinking, how can I better organize my Scentsy business to make sure that throughout the busyness and chaos of the week, I'm actually still getting in everything I need to get done in my business? How can I better do that? Well, the way that it happened to work for me was to get the planner book. You guys know I hate the planner, but I got that, and it's my personal commitment book. And so what I did is I committed to, like I said, one day every single day of the week, except for Sunday. That is my family day, so that's a day that is literally off the books unless something huge comes up and I need to, just have to take that day. But that way every day is split up. So I'm doing a little something each day to move my business forward. Now, with that said, that's great and fine and dandy if I have this huge, beautiful, wonderful customer base that is just sitting there waiting for me to come along so they can place their orders. But when we talk about relaunching, it doesn't matter where you're at in your Scentsy journey. You could be just starting out. Maybe you just joined Scentsy this month, just in February. Maybe you just joined. Or maybe you're like me and you've been a consultant for a while, or you've been a consultant longer than I have. It doesn't matter where you're at in your journey. And when I first started out, I really had a hard time because I would compare my journey to others' journeys. And I would find myself feeling like I was failing or not doing it right because, oh my gosh, look at this person, she joined and she got shooting star and sensational start, and now she's a director within 6 months and she has this huge team, and here I am. I was, like a year in, and I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm just not good at this, apparently. I'm not doing it right. And you really cannot compare yourself to somebody else's journey because everybody's journey is different. Everybody's journey is unique, and yours is unique to you. So, and as I've said before with other things, you have to find your niche. And just when you're finding your niche and what works for you and your customer base, you have to look at what works for you and your business. So if that's more organization, then that's what you need to focus on. If that's building your customer base, that's what you need to focus on. If you really want to make this like a full-time career and be a director, a star director, a superstar director, and you want to start going on all of these great incentive trips that are going on and that Scentsy offers us, then you know what, guys? We have got to kick it into gear. So that's what I'm doing personally right now. I am right at the point of my relaunch. And I thought it was perfect timing because you guys know by now, we have this fabulous new catalog that comes out on March 1st. So we've got, what, 4 days until this thing drops? And I thought, what better way for me, now that I have refocused everything and I kind of feel like I'm on the right path, what better way to relaunch my business than to do it with this fabulous new catalog? Because oh my gosh, even my long-term Scentsy customers are going to look at this catalog and go, the scents alone make me do that. But the warmers, I mean, this is just, it's kismet, it's fate. It's supposed to happen this way, guys. So join me in relaunching your business. Again, I don't care how far along you are in your journey, how long you've been doing it. I don't care, because these are tips that you can use throughout your Scentsy journey, okay? No matter how long it is. And I actually encourage you to do a personal relaunch of your business at least once a year. I think at least once a year. I like to do mine twice a year now. This is my goal. This is my personal commitment to me. Twice a year is taking a step back and reevaluating what is working, what is not working. And then when I make those 2 points, then I need to figure out and go, okay, so if this is working, how can I expand upon that to make it work better? Or if this part isn't working, then maybe I just need to axe that completely out and I need to go to a whole different direction and try something new because it's not working. And all I'm doing is wasting my time on a portion of my business that's not yielding me any results. There's absolutely nothing wrong with reevaluating yourself or your business throughout the year. Do it however much or how often it works best for you. Like I said, my goal right now is to do it 2 times a year. Take 2 times a year, reevaluate. How is it working? What is not? One of the great things to do if you are looking, maybe you're sitting here and here we are at the end of February. We've got March coming up. We have this fantastic new catalog that's about to drop. And we're sitting here looking at April in our calendar and we're going, oh, poop. I don't have a single party booked. What do we do? What do we do? Parties are not going to fall from the sky. Customers are not just going to come and knocking at the door and say, hey, I think you sell Scentsy. Do you have anything I can buy? No, that's not going to happen, guys. We got to hustle. We got to put the work in, and we really have to work to make it happen. So the first thing that I'm going to show you and that we're going to talk about tonight is a booking blitz. If you guys have not yet ever participated in a booking blitz, I highly suggest it. And I have some tips when it comes to a booking blitz because I have found, again, doing that reevaluation, I have found that what traditionally works for most does not work for me and my customers. I have a different way that works for me and my customers, and I'm going to share that with you. But what I have here is, this actually came in the Spring Sprint kit. And if you didn't get a chance to go to Spring Sprint, you Scentsy consultants out there, or you future Scentsy consultants out there, Spring Sprint is it is a 1 day long training, and they do. Gosh, I wish I knew how many cities they were doing this year. I know last year they did what 30 cities, 31 cities last year they visited. And I know if it's not right at 30, it's pretty darn close. I mean, it's not like they completely dropped off the map there. So they try and hit all parts. So hopefully, like I said, if you're a consultant, you've gotten to go to one. And if not, if you're not a consultant, that's what our Spring Sprint is all about. So it happens right before spring. Usually right at the beginning of February is when Spring Sprint is every year. And then we have our, just a quick side note, we have our annual family reunion, which is what, like is our annual convention to most businesses. But we call it a family reunion because we're a Scentsy family here. And we have that every July. This July happens to be in Vegas. Oh yeah, it's in Vegas. Scentsy is totally gonna rock Vegas. You think it was 28? It probably was 28. I know it was close to the 30s in the cities. I just remember last year they really talked about in fact they did a contest, and it was how to say you had to say like all 30 cities in 30 seconds or something. I submitted, I didn't win. Maybe I'll try again next year if they do it then. But so we have our annual, we have our Spring Sprint, we have our convention coming in July, which is very exciting. But if you weren't able to go to a Spring Sprint, as a consultant, you can log into the Scentsy Family Store. I believe they're still available, I believe. But you can look on there, and there's actually a Spring Sprint kit that you can purchase for $25, and it has all this glorious stuff that you got at Spring Sprint if you were an attendee. You got, like a carrying bag that it went in, all this cool stuff. And one of the things that came in that kit was this Booking Blitz book. Well, I say book, it's just tear off pages. But you don't have to have anything fancy like this either. You can just have a legal pad. I mean, that's what I've been doing for years, so it works just as well. But now you have this fancy pad of paper to use. But a Booking Blitz, what this is, and you'll see spots on here, hopefully if the camera's working correctly, it shows spots for a name, any notes, and then the phone number, the party date, and then you're gonna do a little check if you actually booked the party. So the whole point of the Booking Blitz is to pick up the phone and call people on your list of 100. So if you are a newer consultant and maybe you haven't yet done your list of 100, or maybe you're an older consultant like me and you did a list of 100 when you joined 3 years ago, but you haven't redone that list of 100, it's time to redo it. Again, it's another thing that you can always do time and time again. Because when you talk about, who do you know that you can actually talk to and connect with, most people think off of the top of their head, like, oh yeah, well, my neighbor next door, I see her all the time, the people I work with, and oh yeah, I go to the gym and there's a gal there that I talk to when we work out or whatever. So yeah, I know like what, 10 people? No, you know a lot more than that. Think about your hairdresser, when you go to the nail salon, when your post person, your postal worker, your the UPS guy who comes, he comes to your door every month, right? At least once a month. A lot of people, your friend, your kids' friends, parents, and you got a whole list, okay? It's a whole list of people that you know that you probably don't realize you know. What you're going to do is what I like to do, let me put it this way. What I like to do is I like to start with a list of contacts. So who do I want to contact for my Booking Blitz? And the people that I'm going to focus on first is I'm going to write down the people who have hosted for me before. Now, especially because we're about to jump into a brand new catalog, this is like the key time to go back to those previous hosts, because you can go back to those previous hosts and say, hey guys, you can be the first one or one of the first parties I do with this brand new catalog, and your party guests are just going to be jaws on the floor. OMG, this catalog is fabulous. because it is. You're not lying. But so those people who have done parties for you before, they obviously know how the party works, have a pretty good concept of it. They knew that people came, or they knew what to do. And so you can go back to them and say, hey, it's time, we can do a refill party. That's what I like to call them. A refill party is basically a party that I do where I say that it's time to refill your scents. Those are for my Scentsy addicts who they've got plenty of warmers already. Now, granted, the new catalog, they're going to be inspired to at least probably have one on their wish list, if not several. But the scents in and of itself, it's time for a refill, right? It's time for them to refill their new spring and summer scents. So you're going to list those people first. Those are people I'm going to list first. Then after that, I'm going to go to the people who maybe I call those like my warm host leads, right? Those are the people who either are customers who I know are really good, tried and true customers who actually have passion for Scentsy just like I do. And maybe I can actually get them to host a party if they haven't yet. And then, of course, I'm going to turn to them, and then I'm going to expand beyond that. And then I'm going to look at people that maybe I haven't asked before. So maybe it is my neighbor that lives 2 doors down that, I know that it's her and she's got an older adult daughter who lives with her, and there's a couple grandkids. It would be a really great time for me to go over there and knock on the door, and if they're not home, I could always just like leave a catalog sack with a catalog and maybe a little handwritten note that says, hey, I'm Jacqui, I'm your neighbor, I live 2 doors down, I sell Scentsy. If you're interested and want to stop by and sniff, give me a call and I'll come to you. That kind of thing. Those would be like my people that I would contact next after I've gone through those other people. Now, when I say that I don't do mine traditionally, when I started this ad, I said the whole point of the booking blitz is to pick up the phone and to make the phone calls and to call people. When I did my first 2 booking blitzes, the very first one I did, I actually had really great success with. It went really well, and maybe I just got lucky. I don't know. So the second time that I did it, I was really all keyed up because I was like, oh my gosh, the first one went great. And I booked like 3 or 4 parties, I think, off of the first booking blitz that I ever did. And so I was totally excited. So I was like, yes, I'm going to fill my entire calendar for the month. This month is going to rock. I am going to promote. This is going to be fabulous. And you know what? I called like close to 30, 35 people. 0. Big goose egg. I got nada. Nothing. I left a lot of messages. The people I did get a hold of, when I did get to talk to them, when, I kind of told them, shared my excitement at the time. It was another new catalog, and I was excited about that. Nobody was having a bit of it. So the third booking blitz that I ever did, the third one that I did, I thought, I reevaluated, and I said, okay, well, yeah, the first time worked. Second time flopped. What can I try this time? And so the third time what I did is I picked up my phone, but instead of calling, I texted. And you know what? I got a lot better response. It just happened to work out to where my customers felt comfortable enough to text me back. Because even the second time when I did that booking blitz and I called people and left messages, nobody called me back. Or if they did, I maybe had gotten like 1 call back. But that was it. So, but people would actually answer my texts. Maybe they felt more comfortable talking to me via text. Honestly, in real life, if you really want to know the God's honest truth, that's the best way for me to communicate is text. Between, work during the day and the kids and the family at night, I don't have a whole lot of time to sit there and talk on the phone. Plus, I am mentally tired by the time I get home from work. And as much as I would love to sit there and just talk on the phone, I honestly just want to get home. I want to do the things that I need to do at home, whether it's work, whether it's whatever, or get dinner together and maybe do some Scentsy work. but that's what I want to do. And then I want to watch my TV shows, and then I want to relax and go to bed. My brain is just kind of like done at that point. But text, however, whole different story. I can sit there and text all night long probably. So for me, I found that was a lot better results. I actually got parties booked. I think I actually want to say I did like 4 or 5 when I did the first time that I did the texting. I did so much better than I got from just doing phone calls. Now, that's not to say that for you, texting is going to work for you every single time. It may not. It may not work for you and your customers. That just happened to be the way that it worked for me and mine. So don't be afraid to think outside the box. What are different ways that you can do it? If you're not a phone person, try texting. You could try emailing. You're going to probably get a heck of a lot longer response time, but it doesn't hurt. Worst case is they're not going to look at your email or respond to you. Same thing they do if you call them on the phone. But what you want to do is you want to block out yourself some time. So the way that I do mine, I usually block 45 minutes to an hour. And I will take that time. I will write all my names down of who I want to text or call. And I will literally just go down the list. I don't recommend using a script because trust me, guys, when you use a script, even if you're doing a party and you think, oh my gosh, I need to write a script for what I'm going to say at the party and I don't know what I'm going to do, you're going to get yourself all twisted up in your head and you're just going to, it's not going to work and it's not going to flow right. So be yourself, be genuine. That's what people want from you anyway. That's why they're coming to you for their Scentsy, as their Scentsy consultant. They want you. They don't want the generic script. So do not write a script, but you just want to at least have in mind what you want to say, right? And you want to at least have in mind the dates that you have available for a party. So what I do is I will take my calendar. I'll make sure I know which, I'll quickly highlight, these are the days that I want to party. And so when I'm going down that booking blitz list, and in my case, when I'm texting and I'm saying, okay, hey, we got a new, in this case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, hey, we got a new catalog that drops on March 1st. And I wanted to know if you wanted to be one of the first people to host a party so you get to see the brand new warmers that we have and get to smell all the new scents that we have. And I'm going to give them 3 different dates. And I'm just going to pick randomly. And I can usually tell from the people that I'm talking to what days are probably going to work better for them. I can guesstimate. And I'm going to give them just 3 dates and say, which date works best for you? And that's how I'm going to leave the text, right? Because then what I've done is I haven't left the door open. I've just kind of said, which date works best? Out of these 3 dates, which one works the best for you? So I'm hoping I'm leading them into the fact of picking one of those 3 dates. Now, when they come back, I'm going to have a couple of responses ready, again, in my head. You don't need to write anything down. Just be prepared. But when they text back, maybe they'll say, well, I don't know, the 12th might work, or I'm way too busy to have a home party right now. Great. Because you know what? I do pouch parties, bag parties, Facebook parties, online parties. I can do that. You don't have to clean your house. You don't have to schedule time. You can still have a party and get all the host rewards and get this awesome new Edison warmer for half price just by collecting orders for me. And then as I'm texting, I'm probably going to send them a text picture of the Edison warmer just to kind of pique their interest, okay? Mix it up, make it fun, and always be sure to offer those different means of partying. Because remember, guys, we are not just stuck in the party box of home parties. We can do so much more, so much more. So try your hand at a booking blitz if you haven't done one. Or maybe it's been a while since you have, or maybe it hasn't been a while. Maybe you did one just recently, but it just flopped like mine did. And so then you say, okay, what can I do differently? Maybe try texting. Another fun way would also be to do a very quick, like a 20 to 30 second little video clip and send it as a text. I love doing that. And I don't know what it is, but maybe it's because I can actually project my enthusiasm and excitement better, because that way they're actually seeing my face, they're listening to me, and they're hearing the excitement in my voice, and they're like, oh my gosh, I have to text her back. I know, it's totally awesome. I want one really bad. So have that ready. Like I said, it doesn't even have to be that piece of paper. It can be a legal pad. It truly, truly can. It can be a legal pad. My only other tip to go along with that, even if you're just using the legal pad, they did give us in the Spring Sprint kit, these are the customer information sheets. And basically all this is, guys, is just a way for you to track your customers. Now, of course, you can do the same thing in the workstation, because under your contacts, you can have all of this info in there, okay? All their info. You can have their address, their email. There's spots for everything that you can put in there. If they're interested in hosting, joining, things like that, you can track it that way, and you can always export it to Excel. Make up big fancy spreadsheets. Doesn't matter how techy you want to get with it, you can do it. Or you can just go old school, and you can either photocopy this piece of paper, put it in a binder, or if you don't have this piece of paper, again, a legal pad works just fine. Or you go into Word and you make up your own. And this is just simply a way to track your customer information. So maybe when I'm doing my booking blitz and I'm going down the line and I'm texting my people and I'm getting responses back, and maybe I've gotten responses of, no, I really just, the kids have too much going on. I don't do home parties. I don't have time for them. Well, you know what I'm going to do mentally is when I'm talking to them, I'm going to be like, I need to remember that Sarah totally does not want to do a home party. She is not going to be interested in a home party. So the next time I contact Sarah, or the next time I talk to her, if I'm not already at that point in time, I'm going to put that little note down, whether it's on this sheet or on my legal pad or on my phone, because that's where a lot of my contacts live, are in my phone. And in the notes section of my phone, under the contacts, it will have all that information that's right here on this fancy piece of paper right there in my phone, and I can always have it with me. But I'm going to always make that little note that, Sarah doesn't like home parties. So again, next time I will know that that's what I'm going to offer her, is either the pouch party, the bag party, the Facebook party, or an online party. I'm only going to offer her those options because I know that's what's going to work for her. And I want to be customer focused, and I want to, be thinking of her. I don't want to just keep offering her the idea of a home party when she doesn't want it. She's already told me she doesn't want it. I don't want her to think that I'm this crazy person who just keeps asking the same question over and over again. I'm not the crazy person. I'm going to write it down, and I want to make sure I don't ask her again next time. So relaunching your business is truly that, right? You are taking a step back, reevaluating what's working, what is not, making some slight tweaks, and then you're going to just put all your enthusiasm, and why not do it at this perfect point in time of a brand new catalog. So put your enthusiasm behind this catalog. That is personally what I am doing right now. I am pulling out all the stops. I went out and I got myself some new marketing material because Vistaprint had this huge, amazing, great sale. So I took advantage of that, and I got some really fun postcards to mail out. I've been making sure, again, that I'm doing my samples every week. So on sample day, I'm making those up. I am passing those babies out. If I go to the drive-thru, if I go to the grocery store, when I go to work, I am passing those things out like candy. Because now, I've always done it with like my business card attached or a monthly special flyer, which is still great and fine and dandy. But now that I took a little bit more investment and I got the postcards when they were on sale, do it when they're on sale, guys. It's so much cheaper, trust me. Now it has all my contact information right then and there. I don't have to do anything but slap a stamp on that baby and send it out the door. It's awesome. So think of new ways that might work a little different for you that you haven't tried yet. Don't be afraid, again, to think outside the box, color outside the lines, and really take advantage of that. The last tip I'm going to leave you with relaunching tonight, we could talk about relaunching for a long time, and maybe I'll talk more about it in a future weekly video hangout. But this is where I really encourage you guys to start. Get those parties booked and get them on the calendar. But the other thing I'm going to leave you with is to make sure that you're branding yourself in some shape, form. I don't care what it is. I carry a Scentsy bag with me almost everywhere I go. Almost everywhere I go. In fact, my other one's in the kitchen because it's full with Scentsy stuff because I'm carrying it every day. But they got the new little carry like tote bags in the Scentsy store. I think these are so, I mean, I love the older ones too. These are the other style, which is great because the Scentsy logo really stands out. I really like those. Those are the ones that I have been using. But this is like a fun upgrade. And because everybody teases me and calls me the bag lady, I don't care. My bag is better than yours because it says Scentsy on it, and I guarantee you, if you stick your nose in my bag, it smells a lot better than yours. So brand yourself one way or another. Maybe it's a shirt, maybe it's a bag. I don't care what it is. Brand yourself. Put your name out there, and think outside the box. That's where I'm gonna leave you guys. So look for ways to upgrade yourself, upgrade your business, and looking for ways to think outside the box. Feel free to put comments down here and share maybe some ways that you've thought outside the box that work for you. We would all be more than happy to hear your ideas and what's working for you. Because again, like I said, just because it works for somebody else doesn't mean that it works for everybody. Phone calling on a booking blitz works for a lot of people. Doesn't work for me. It worked okay, take the bag. Worked one time for me. Has never worked since. So I had to change. So sometimes we got to change with the times, and that's okay because it keeps everything fresh and new and exciting for us and our customers. So whatever gets you there, get you there. Thank you guys so much. I've run over time. Ugh, I'm so sorry. I promise you I'm going to stick closer to this 30-minute time slot. But like I said, please comment below with what works for you. I'd love to hear it. I'd love to network with you guys and see what you guys have. And I'm always going to offer out there that I will definitely send that to you, Holly. I will send it to you. I'm going to offer that if anybody would like to, when we do the Google Hangout, we can do a split screen. So if you guys have a topic that you want to talk about, or something that really, really works for you, and you would like to join me on this weekly Google Hangout and do a split screen, and you can talk about what works for you. I am more than happy to have you guys involved and doing this right along with me. All you need is a webcam and Google how you're watching it right now. So you can do it too. So feel free to let me know if you'd like to do that. Holly, I will send you a copy so you can see it and have it. And I love you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye.